Journal Record editor Ted Struley joins us to discuss other stories making news in business this week. Ted, thanks for joining us.
Happy to be here.
Ted, it looks like a state question to reform Oklahoma's liquor laws has organizers taking sides. What's the latest?
Right, well, this is headed for the ballot later this year, but the Retail Liquor Association on one side really opposes this measure. They would prefer to keep things the way they are. There's another group that is very much in favor. Both are sitting down and organizing their strategies to try to sway voters to their position before the ballot.
There's some bad news for Oklahomans regarding the health exchanges.
Yeah, we got a report this week that showed that one part of Oklahoma's health plan through the Silver Exchange had the biggest rate increase of any in the country, somewhere around 42%, as I recall.
The Oklahoma Blood Institute is now facing a lower demand for their product. Why is that, and why is OBI doing what are they doing in response to that?
Well, it's really kind of good news in the big picture. Surgeries have become so much more efficient and so much less invasive that there's just less demand from the hospitals for that blood from OPI. But that also means there's less customer demand for the Blood Institute, so they're having to ask for some cash donations and cut some costs in order to adapt to the new scenarios.
Huh. Egg prices are falling. What's behind the drop?
We know last year there was a big avian flu scare that really hurt the egg and the poultry producers. That caused a big glut of eggs that's sitting around that has pushed prices down. But some ag researchers at OSU told us that in the end it's going to make the egg industry stronger once they get past this little bump in the road.
Oklahoma Gas and Electric's plan to install scrubbers to a coal-fired plant is running into resistance. What are you hearing on that?
Well, there are two environmental groups who have appealed the Corporation Commission's decision to allow those scrubbers. They're the same scrubbers the Corpcom had denied twice in 2015, so remains a contentious issue and still some arguing to be done. OG&E is trying to come into compliance with some air pollution standards.
Ted Struley from the Journal Record. What are you working on for next week?
Foreclosures are up in Oklahoma, but banks are not sending those houses to sheriff sales. They're hanging on to the properties. We'll have a story taking a look at why they're doing that.
All right. Ted, thanks. We sure appreciate it.
Glad to be here.